So in today's video, we're going to put 3 wood against 5 wood. See what the benefits are to both, what the negatives are, and might you only need to actually carry one of these clubs. So a lot of golfers that I see face to face are really keen to have a 3 wood in the bag, and they feel because this fairway wood has the least loft and the longest shaft, this is the one they're going to hit the furthest. Doubles up a little bit sometimes as a second driver if driver's being a naughty boy, but predominantly for me fairway wood should be good off the floor. So I might hit a couple of shots off a tee, but this is all going to be about off the ground, and we're going to see why potentially some of you golfers out there might struggle with 3 wood, what some of the bad shots might be, and how actually maybe just replacing 3 wood with 5 wood would actually get rid of all those problems. And maybe for some of you, this shouldn't actually have a 5 on the bottom. Maybe it should really say 3. So just before we get into the head-to-head, if you're new down to my channel, welcome down to Ali Taylor Golf. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. If while you're watching along today, you're enjoying the content and you don't currently subscribe, I'd love it if you took a second just to click the subscribe button, ring the notification bell, and then you'll find out whenever I drop a new video. But for now, let's put 3 wood and 5 wood head to head, see which is the best. So for the comparison, I've got the brand new Taylormade Sim2 Max, 3 wood at 15 degrees, 5 wood at 18 degrees. Now, I would say as a general rule, I don't struggle with 3 wood off the floor, but maybe one advantage I have over a lot of golfers is I probably have a bit more club head speed than the majority of golfers that watch. So I'm going to take a little bit of speed out and I'm going to show you what I see golfers do with 3 wood, why it maybe doesn't work for them, compensations they make, why they make those compensations, and then we'll move into 5 wood. So like I said, predominantly for me, fairway woods need to be good off the floor. So you can hit the ball off the little tee. But the beauty with it in the tee is straight away, it's easier to make contact higher at the club face, where there's a little bit more loft. But you also don't have to actually deliver the club great when it's up on the tee. So when the ball's on the floor, we still want the club so-called hitting down, but the low point of the swing to be slightly after the ball so that the club moves down, you get that forward shaft lean. So you're actually de-lofting the club when it's on the floor. So what I would generally see with most golfers with 3 wood is they know that they're set up with that ball slightly further forward and they'll swing very like this. And we can see it's a good shot. You know, there we had the club was moving down 2.9 degrees. 11.9 degrees launch, decent spin there at 3,700, 54 peak height, but only carried 170 yards. So for a lot of guys, when they're swinging at the kind of speed I moved at there, they're still going to hit 7-iron round about that 130 carry, maybe a little bit more, 140. So they look at that and they say, well, if I'm hitting 7-iron, 130 yards carry, how am I only managing to hit my 3 wood 170? I know it's rolled out, but the rollout is very dependent on ground conditions. So straight away they start thinking, well actually that went very low, so I rely on a lot of run. So what you'll then see with golfers is probably not even consciously, they almost try and build a little bit more loft into the club. So you'll start seeing, so I've hit the ground behind the golf ball. The club was actually moving up 4.4 degrees, and now all of a sudden I've hit it 137 yards carry. Now, I'd love it if, as I'm talking about these little faults, do you start some light bulb moments go off? If they do, just comment below and let me know if you do these. So they go, right, okay, I know I hit way behind that one. So what they've done is, by trying to get a little bit more loft on the club, they've kind of hung back, tried to get the club with lots and lots of loft rather than being this way. Now the only other way then of getting loft is actually to have the club face more that way at impact. And again, how many of you golfers out there might say I hit most of my clubs fairly straight and then I get my 3 wood in my hand and it just feels horrible. It feels like I've got a low cutty one there where I've got the club moving down, but I've hit it right off the bottom of the club, hardly got off the floor. And yet, they put the ball up on that tee, or it's on a fluffy lie in the semi-rough, and they feel they can stand there, get it a little higher up the club face. There's the 200-yard carry, higher. But you see there, I've actually hit up very, very slightly, which then wouldn't work when it's down on the ground. So it's hard, isn't it? Because it's almost like, if I hit it that well off the tee, why, when I put a good swing on it on the floor, does it go low, out to the right, and I lose so much distance? So the big challenge for most golfers is lack of loft, in my opinion. And this is where I think 5-wood, and possibly, for some of you guys watching, even a cheeky little 7-wood, what you'll do when you put a good swing on it is, yes, that low point's ahead, you hit down, you de-loft the club. So by having more loft on the club to begin with, it actually ends up turning into what would actually be a 3-wood for you at impact. And it's a great feeling. And when I do fittings, I love watching golfers come in telling me they need a 3-wood. And we hit a few 3-woods. And the general feedback is, well, it looks nice, it feels nice, but it does the exact same as my 3-wood. And then they suddenly put a 5-wood in their hands. They set up there, put a swing on it. And straight away it launches more like around where a 3-wood loft would expect. Suddenly goes much higher. And then all of a sudden, there's that kind of distance that they see off the tee with a 3-wood. And it's great. And as soon as golfers see that ball getting up in the air, for me, you don't see those compensatory movements trying to create loft. And as a general rule, I think anyone who's struggled with 3-wood, what they then lack is confidence. And as golfers lack confidence, they tend to swing slower, try and strike it. The playing partners are saying you swung too quick at that, therefore that's why you've hit it badly. And it's not that at all. And as they build that confidence with the 5-wood, they stand there. So even though that was a little bit low off the face, you can see the launch angle went down. It's still 200 yards carry, 220 total. The extra loft is also going to give them that little bit more forgiveness if the lie is a bit indecent. Now obviously in here it's a perfect lie. But you can also see if you're hitting the ball higher like that, not just is that great for getting that carry distance down the fairway, but also if you needed to hit that into a green, you've got that advantage of it being higher. So that one not as far with a poor strike, but 171 carry, but big high shot, so that'd be into the green. And then even if you needed to use it off the tee, yes, you can still tee it up high. That one just out to the right, but even higher than 3-wood. Carrying around the same distance. Maybe not going to roll out quite as much, but sometimes if you're hitting a fairway wood off the tee, might be a dog leg, where you don't want the ball actually landing and running too far because it could run through the hole. But it's such a big advantage for me when you see loft in people's hands. And you see it with irons as well, to be fair. It's why golfers are so much better, in my opinion, with 7-iron down. That you can go from 7 even to 6 with some golfers. And the swing just seems like it disintegrates because they're trying to add loft. And I love the fact that, you know, 5-wood nowadays at 18 degrees, it's not that many years ago that manufacturers kind of used to do 2-woods at 13 degrees, 3-woods at 15, 4-woods at 17. So really nowadays, a lot of the modern 5-woods are actually very close to being a more traditional forward. And a lot of golfers who have played for years might actually sit there now and go, oh, do you know what? I used to have a forward that I used to hit fantastically well. Yeah. Well, maybe the new 5-wood is your new forward and you've never been able to hit a 3-wood. So if you can get there with 5-wood, have some confidence, even then get a little bit more speed in there, we still get the ball launch at a good angle, nice and high, good carry, and overall a good distance. So definitely when you get along and you're trying a new 3-wood, be open to trying the 5-wood. If you're someone who really struggles with 3-wood, and then even with 5-wood struggles a bit, don't be afraid of trying 7-wood. I mean, today is 3-wood versus 5-wood, and I would say certainly over 90% of golfers that I see hit 5-wood further than 3-wood. And if that's the case, maybe then it doesn't matter that it says 3 or 5, it's just getting the optimum loft to help you hit the ball as far as possible. Right then guys, so I love doing videos like this. Hopefully it kind of sparks a little bit of a thought process with you. That are you a golfer who currently has a 3-wood and it's a real love-hate relationship? You know, when you hit it well, you love it, but you hit it poorly most of the time, so you hate it. You might not actually carry a 5-wood at the moment, and that, if that's the case, I think that's a huge mistake. And it's interesting because, as with irons, not as exaggerated, we've definitely seen lofts get stronger over the years. And certainly nowadays, there's 7-irons with lofts that are, 5-irons, really. Yes, the ball launches like a 7-iron, but then that's meant that most manufacturers in sets of irons now don't actually produce a 3-iron. So the 3-iron, for a lot of sets and a lot of golfers, has disappeared out of golf. And I could generally see some of the stronger lofted 3-woods still being around, but not in every model. And you see that, 5-woods nowadays at, 18 degrees. I think the 7-wood in this is 21. The 7-wood that's in my bag for this season is 20.5 degrees. Now really, it's a 5-wood, but it says 7 on the bottom. So don't always try and get caught up with kind of the number, whether it says 3, 4, 5, 7. Find the one, predominantly most guys want a 3-wood, it's the club that hits it the longest off the floor. Now for me, it doesn't matter what number it says, or ultimately what loft it is, it's just what you turn into the club that hits the ball most consistently, the furthest off the floor, that gives you that bit of versatility. And for most golfers who maybe can't reach some of the long par 4s in 2, certainly can't reach par 5s in 2, if you can pick up those extra 15, 20 yards off the floor, that could be an absolute game changer for you. So guys, hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, like it and share it, comment below and I'll get back to as many people as I can. If you've enjoyed today's video and you don't currently subscribe, I'd love you to click the subscribe button. Remember to ring the notification bell, then you'll find out whenever I drop a new video. Follow me on all my social media platforms, all under Ali Taylor Golf. Hopefully catch up with some of you guys down here soon. Stay in contact.